Welcome to Iraqi Dinar, where we look beyond daily noise and focus on the structural evolution shaping Iraq's financial future. In a time when headlines travel faster than facts, it becomes increasingly important to separate temporary volatility from long-term transformation. Today's discussion is dedicated to those who understand that sovereign reform is a process, not an event. Across Iraq's monetary landscape, a gradual but undeniable shift is unfolding. This is not the kind of change marked by dramatic overnight announcements. Instead, it is a steady recalibration of financial architecture, aligning domestic systems with international standards. Real progress in global finance is measured through institutional maturity, regulatory discipline, and technological integration. Iraq is moving through that phase now. Many observers have followed the Iraqi dinar story for years. During that time, political transitions, economic pressures, and shifting narratives have tested patience. But patience in international finance is not passive waiting. It is the time required to build credibility. What we are witnessing today is not speculative hype. It is a methodical strengthening of financial foundations. One of the clearest signals of this progress is the emphasis on digital transformation. Reports circulated by the United Nations have once again highlighted Iraq's advancements in governance reform and digital transparency. In diplomatic language, such recirculation is intentional. It draws attention to milestones that have moved from planning into implementation. Iraq's financial system historically struggled with opaque transaction channels and limited verifiable data. That environment discouraged foreign investment and complicated compliance with global banking standards. The shift toward a digitized infrastructure directly addresses these weaknesses. Electronic tracking systems, centralized reporting platforms, and enhanced regulatory oversight are reducing the space for informal cash movement. The conversation around a digital dinar should be understood within the broader global fintech transformation. Around the world, central banks are exploring digital currencies and programmable financial systems. Iraq's approach reflects this global direction. By modernizing its monetary framework, the country is ensuring compatibility with next-generation settlement systems rather than remaining dependent on outdated processes. The Central Bank of Iraq has intensified its control over foreign exchange mechanisms and electronic transfer systems, limiting uncontrolled dollar outflows and consolidating transaction channels onto official platforms strengthens monetary authority. Historically, central banks preparing for major policy adjustments first secure domestic liquidity and tighten compliance. Iraq's recent actions align with that classic sequence. International validation has also become more visible. S&P Global Ratings recently maintained a stable outlook on Iraq's economic indicators. Such assessments are based on data, reserve management, fiscal discipline, and structural reform, not speculation. A stable rating lowers sovereign risk perception and encourages responsible foreign capital engagement. In parallel, coordination with institutions like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank continues to reinforce reform benchmarks. These organizations emphasize transparency, anti-money laundering compliance, and sustainable fiscal management. Their oversight creates continuity beyond short-term political fluctuations. Political developments in Baghdad often dominate headlines, yet institutional systems tend to operate independently of cabinet changes. Banking platforms, compliance protocols, and international agreements are designed for durability. While leadership transitions may influence timing and messaging, they rarely reverse structural reforms already embedded into financial systems. There is also a geopolitical dimension. International partners expect Iraq to adhere to AML and counter-terror financing standards. External pressure, particularly from global regulatory bodies, acts as an accelerator for reform rather than a barrier. The global community has a vested interest in a stable and transparent Iraqi economy integrated into formal financial networks. It is important to remain realistic. Preparatory measures do not automatically translate into immediate exchange rate changes. Infrastructure development, legislative synchronization, and cross-border coordination require time. The difference between preparation and execution is significant. Serious observers focus on the underlying mechanics rather than rumored timelines. Another topic frequently discussed is the possibility of special exchange tiers or private arrangements. In modern international finance, currency valuation adjustments operate within regulated banking frameworks. Emphasis should remain on documented, public pathways rather than unverified claims circulating on social platforms. Technological integration is advancing rapidly. Artificial intelligence tools now assist in monitoring transaction flows and identifying anomalies. Automated compliance systems reduce human error and increase transparency. These innovations form the backbone of a modernized economy and strengthen confidence among international investors. The broader global financial landscape is undergoing its own restructuring. Blockchain networks, instant settlement platforms, and digital asset frameworks are redefining cross-border transactions. Iraq's participation in this transformation suggests strategic intent. Rather than merely catching up, the country appears focused on positioning itself within the emerging digital ecosystem. For individual observers, this period underscores the importance of personal preparation. Understanding tax implications, consulting qualified financial professionals, and establishing secure asset management strategies are prudent steps. Preparation transforms potential opportunity into responsible action. The narrative has gradually shifted from uncertainty about direction to clarity about trajectory. The direction is modernization, transparency, and integration. The specific timing and valuation outcomes remain within the authority of the central bank and relevant institutions, but the structural trend is measurable. As we continue monitoring official publications, policy adjustments, and institutional signals, remember that lasting reform is built quietly. Structural reinforcement rarely generates viral headlines, yet it defines the long-term outcome. This is Iraqi Dinar, committed to providing measured analysis rooted in documented progress rather than speculation. Iraq's transition from a heavily cash-based system toward a digitally integrated financial framework represents a significant chapter in its economic history. By staying informed and grounded, you position yourself to interpret developments with clarity instead of emotion. We will continue to follow the official data, institutional reports, and technological advancements shaping Iraq's financial sovereignty. Thank you for being part of this informed community. This is Iraqi Dinar, signing off until our next in-depth analysis.